There's really no telling what we're going to find here. I feel like now's a good time to pull this diesel heater apart and see what it looks like on the inside. It's been about, I don't know, three years or so since I've had this apart. Some of you may remember that video when I installed it and then I almost killed my diesel heater, I think was the name of the video. Yeah, it's been 3 years since I've had this apart. I'm not sure what we're going to find on the inside. It seems to be running okay. I feel like it's not putting out quite as much heat as it should. I'm going to take it apart and see what's going on. I've just run it all morning. It's, according to this, it's 60 degrees in here. I got the electric heater on now just to maintain it. It's 30 something odd degrees outside. It's raining. It's miserable. You get the picture. Echo's out here helping. Lucy's right here. She's helping. And you don't have to adjust your camera because my gray sweatshirt matches my gray pants. I know it's not stylish, but it's called a grout fit for a reason. So I ran the fuel down this morning. It had a half a tank of fuel in it. And hopefully I don't spill fuel all over the place here. Oh. Let's see. We may have found a problem right off the bat. Stand by. I gotta take this hose off. Jesus. All right. Okay, I got a little, here, come on over here, take a look at this. So I went to take this fuel tank off and I got some moisture under here. And it smells like diesel. I think this tank has about had it. There's a leak. And I think it's coming from right in this area. Doesn't appear to be leaking around this thing. I don't see a leak over here. I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, I'm going to set this aside right here for now. I'm going to go ahead and finish taking this apart. If you've never had one of these apart, they do come apart pretty easy. Although they do stuff like this, like put a hole in this plate, but now I have to unplug this plug and undo this fuel line to get it apart. I mean, just put a notch in the thing. The last time I had this apart, I did the upgrade with the fuel line. I gotta get these bolts off. You can hear the electric heater just kicked on over here. It only runs for like, I don't know, 30 seconds or so maybe? About every 5 to 10 minutes. Works pretty good considering. Yeah, I don't know, I'll have to time it. I am gonna make a mess here before the day is over. I can feel it in my bones. Let's control our parts. Let's see. I mean, this is the most inconvenient way to do this, and it doesn't even fit. That's a 5/16. It don't fit. I need a golf tee is what I need, and I don't have one. Let's see if I put this screw in the end. Should slow it down a little bit. Apparently, I was trying to prove a point when I tightened that thing up. I'm gonna do a sneak attack from the back here. Son of a... All right. Don't do what I do. This is not a this is not a how-to video. Quite the opposite. All of that to get this off. Where were we? All right, here we are. Let's see. Got a lot of carbon in here, so let's see. Can you see this? Quite a bit of carbon in there. Maybe this is something we should be taking apart and cleaning every once in a while. There we go. Okay. Parts. Okay, we are officially free of all of this nonsense. Get this out of here. All right, now we got this on the bench. We can kind of work on it a little bit easier. I just had to turn the heater down because it's 70 in here. I like it hot, but not that hot. All right, looks like we need a few Allen wrenches. It's a 4mm. All right, I'm guessing this is the brain. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 more to take off. And then we should be able to separate the housing. Okay. That don't look bad. Sounds good. Spins freely. Now we're into the nuts and bolts of this thing. 4 more Allen heads. Actually, yeah, 4 more. Not that size. These are 4mm also. My backyard is pretty much a swamp at this point. We lost all of our snow. We had about 3 feet of snow. Like in 3 days, we had 50, 60, 70 degree weather. Turned to mud. It's been mud for a couple weeks. And between that and the dog poop, it's pretty sporty out there in the backyard. And it is raining right now, like it was just downpouring a minute ago. So if your backyard is anything like mine, leave a comment. Because I can't go in my backyard without these. Standard issue LL Bean boots, mud proof and dog poop proof. That's a mouthful. Okay, everything is loose. We have to fish this out of here. We got to loosen up that bolt there. I believe this is like the glow plug. So let's see if we can get that out of there. 12mm for this glow plug. Okay, that actually came loose pretty quickly. Okay, it don't look terrible. I'm not an expert in glow plugs, but it don't look bad. Okay. Wow. Pretty clean. This isn't bad either. So this is 3 years of running since I had my little, let's call it an issue. And you can see it's really not bad in there. And if you can't see, you should be able to now. Not terrible in there. I'm going to hit it with a vacuum, clean it up a little bit. And then you can see, maybe you can't see, I don't know. All right, in here, there's a green gasket. And when I put it back together the last time, I ripped it. And I used some Permatex on it. And that seemed to work great, even though some of you said I was out of my mind, but it seems to have held up pretty well. I gotta say, I mean, this is 3 years of running in the garage. I don't have any issues here. I probably will now, though, that I took it apart. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, what do I know? All right, I'm going to go ahead and get everything cleaned up. I'm going to put it all back together, see if I can find the fuel leak. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. I don't know. I'll clean it all up, and then I'll be right back. Stand by. Got this cleaned up nice. Little wire brush and a vacuum. Look good. Looking good, Lewis. Feeling good, Mortimer? Name that movie. Hint, it's somewhere around 1980-ish. All right, so the gasket took a hit this time. It's in 3 pieces. I'm not going to reuse it. I'm going to use some Permatex Ultra Black, maybe, if the tube isn't all screwed up. If it is, I got to back up. I've had quite a few people say I got to change my screen, but I don't know where the screen is. I haven't seen a screen. If you know where the screen is, feel free to tell me, but I'm going to have this all back together before you can do that. So I guess it's, oh, there it is. How in the heck am I going to show you this? Okay. All right, there's the screen. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I think that's the best I'm going to be able to do. That screen looks perfectly clean to me. Trying to think of how I can better show you. Maybe that'll work better. Can you see in there? That looks pretty clean in there. So I don't need to change my screen, but at least I know where it is now. Winning. You guys are missing out because Angela's making hoagie rolls from scratch. They look spectacular. It's good to be me. Back to this. We got this all cleaned out. Surfaces are wiped down. I'm going to go ahead and put this. Let's see. We'll go ahead and put a little bit of this on here. Okay, got my Permatex on there. How'd I do? I'm sure it's not great, but we'll smooth it out a little bit. I don't know, that should probably work, right? Good enough? And let that get its skim coat built up. According to the instructions, we're going to assemble it, finger tight, and then we'll come back and snug it up with the Allen wrench. I know I said hand tight, but I can't get my fingers down in there to, you know. I promise I'm not tightening them. I'm going to let that dry for 1 hour. Then I will torque it down to whatever. I'm not even sure what the spec is. Just going to give it a little. That'll be good enough. In the meantime, I'm going to get what's left of this gasket off, because you can see that this gasket here is not doing much better than the one that was below it. So I'll have to put some Permatex on this as well. This gasket is nothing more than cardboard, by the way. So I think replacing it with Permatex is just fine. I've done a few videos about diesel heaters, and I've always had people concerned about carbon monoxide. And there's my carbon monoxide detector right there. It's never gone off, ever. I take that back. It went off one time when I had my tractor in here. My tractor was idling and the CO detector went off. But as far as diesel heaters go, that carbon monoxide detector has never gone off. Click, click. Click, click. Click, click. Click. And one more click, click. Okay, there it is. Breaking out the new tube. I got frustrated with the other tube. One could say the tube actually won. I'm gonna go and put some of this on this surface that I cleaned off, and then this goes on there like that. Same situation, takes about an hour or so, but for you it'll be really quick. All right, this setup, not ideal. Let me show you what's going on. I've got the Permatex around the outside, but man, is it close. See how that thing spins? It is going to be so close to hitting that. And that's the part that moves. So this is going to be a bit of a, well, let's just say, I hope it works. Not even sure this Permatex is good, quite honestly. That's all I got, so we're going to run with it. I'm going to let this set for about an hour because that's what it recommends. It's supposed to get like a little skim coat on there, and then we'll bolt that right on. Maybe it'll work. It looks like we got ourselves a pretty good gasket built up here. It's tacky. I'm going to go ahead and get that installed. So we got that snug down, and looks like we got a nice gasket all the way around. I think what I'm going to do now, instead of boring you, I'm just going to slap this thing back together. I'm going to see if I can find that diesel leak. I'm not sure that it is a diesel leak. I didn't film it, but a year or so ago, there was an inline filter, and the inline filter cracked, and I think, you know, it leaked diesel fuel all over, and I'm thinking that might have been some residue left over from that. I bought a filter to put back in line the next time I did something like this, but I got to be honest with you, it's running just fine without the filter, and the pickup tube is off the bottom enough that I'm just going to keep running it without a filter. I mean, this thing is 3 years old. It's still in good shape, but it might be time to get a new one here pretty soon anyway. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this together. All right, full disclosure, I forgot to put this glow plug in. Put that on there. I had to redo the gasket. I'm letting that set up, and then we'll go ahead and tighten that down. The ironic part about this was when I screwed this in by hand, I was able to get it tight enough because when I put a wrench on it, I could barely move it. So I probably didn't have to take it all apart, but I did. What you need is a socket. It's very similar to like a oxygen sensor on your exhaust pipe, where it's got the, you know, this little pigtail. It's got the little cutout on the side, the little notch. That's what you really need for that. But anywho, we don't have one. I'm going to redo this. I got the heater all back together. Went together pretty good. I did try to look at the fuel tank to see if I could find if there was a leak. I couldn't find a leak, so I snugged up the fitting at the bottom, thinking maybe it was just weeping from there a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted back on the wall over here. I'm going to let it set for 24 hours because that Permatex is still pretty new. And then when I get home from work tomorrow, I'll fire up and we'll see if it works. So that'll be 24 hours, but for you, that'll be right now. All right, it's been 2 days since I mounted the heater back on the wall, and the Permatex is set up. I started it up, everything is working just fine. I got my heat gun here. Right now we're putting out about almost 170 degrees. Pump sounds good, you can probably hear it. Pump is working just fine. I'm not getting an odor, I'm not getting any smoke. So hopefully this will be another 3 years of trouble-free service. So I took my diesel heater apart for no apparent reason other than to just clean it. Glad I did. Hopefully I'll have 3 more years of trouble-free service. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I appreciate you. You are better than most. We're up to 185 degrees. This thing is ripping. Thanks for watching.